ferocious Farid Basharat. Farid, I got to say, a pretty dang good month for the Basharat brothers, wasn't it? Specifically, March 12th, a pretty cool day for both of you. We got to witness one side of it, which was your brother picking up a win in his UFC debut. You, meanwhile, were over in Spain, also getting a win as well. So, talk to me about just what that day was like for you, with both of you guys picking up big wins.
Yeah, that day was very big for us. It's not the first time we fought on the same day. Usually when we fight on the same day, though, it's like on the same card, right? So this one was like a little bit surreal because um, obviously you care about, like, for example, for me, I care about Javid a lot. I want to think about him when I'm fighting, when I'm preparing for my fight, but you can't think too much because it'll throw you off of your game. You know what I mean? So you kind of have to enter your fight thinking about only about your fight, and you just kind of have to have faith in his preparation that he's gonna do what he's gonna do. So. But yeah, it was surreal, and it was even crazier that like we both pretty much fought at the exact same time.
That's what I was going to ask, because it sounded like as he was getting the news that it was pretty current. It was like kind of happening. So is that the way it worked out, that you were basically going to the cage at the same time?
So what happened is, like, obviously Spain is a lot further ahead than the US, but nowadays they seem to do these fight nights a lot earlier. They start at like noon or something. So what happened was I got a finish in the second round. Had I not got a finish, like let's say I'd gone decision, I probably would have missed half of Javid's fight. So as soon as I finished my guy, I ran backstage and like I got UFC fight pass out and I just went to the corner backstage somewhere. I watched it with my team and yeah, I was super nervous, but because like when you're there, say if I was in his corner, I can call out some commands, I can tell him maybe hands up or something. But when you're on the other side of the world, then there's nothing you can do. So it makes you nervous for sure.
That's crazy. So did you guys stay in touch on fight week or on fight day, or was it better, like you said, to kind of separate and let you kind of each focus on the own task?
It was more of the latter, to be honest, because yeah, it's just like fighting is such a personal thing. You need tunnel vision, and neither of us need our hands to be held. We've done this for years. So what we basically kind of like, we probably messaged each other once a day type of thing, like, hey, you doing okay? The weight is good? Yes, bro. How are you feeling? I'm feeling good. And then on fight day, I don't even think we spoke on the phone. I just because by the time, like I said, he fought around, I think, 2 p.m. Las Vegas time. So by the time I was warming up, I went to the arena to warm up. I think it just didn't work out time wise. So I voice messaged him. I said, look, man, I don't think we're gonna be able to talk. So I'll just leave you a voice message. Do your thing. Do what we always do. Do what we were born to do. And he basically said the same kind of thing. And we do what we do. We fight.
That's awesome, man. What was the emotion like for you, though, watching him? I mean, you got the win, so obviously you're happy, you're excited, but then you get to pull up Fight Pass and watch your brother competing in the UFC, man. What was that experience like?
It was his UFC debut, and if I'm honest, I was very, very proud. I was very proud. Like, man, we've visualized, we've spoken about this for over a decade, and it was like I was very happy. I was very proud. But then once the fight started, and I saw Trevin Jones was throwing some heat, and I think Trevin landed the first shot, and I was like, "Oh man, keep your hands up, come on!" And I was screaming on top of my lungs, obviously. But yeah, I was very, very, very proud, to be honest.
That's awesome. So talk to me about this journey. I mean, obviously you guys are on the same path. You've been on it together, right? He gets the call before you. He gets the opportunity to go to UFC. I know you love your brother. You support your brother. I'm sure you're happy for him. Is there any part of you that's a little jealous or a little like, oh, why am I not there with you?
No, not at all, to be honest. Not at all. Like, if I'm honest, Javid winning means more for me than me winning. That's the truth. Like, Javid's win on the Contender Series is the most important fight in my like career, my life. Like, that fight, him winning that fight means more to me than any of my 8 pro wins. You know, not only because for one, he's my brother, and secondly, like, it means a lot for the both of us. Like, that fight opened the door. His UFC debut opened the door. Now, like you heard in the broadcast, like Paul Felder and those guys were talking about me. So it has an effect on me too. Not only like emotionally, like I'm proud of him, but also like it opens a lot of doors for myself.
That's awesome. How exciting was it for you to hear your name get brought up on the broadcast, right? That's got to be great. You know, it's not the fight,
cool.
but it's still talking about you.
That was cool. That was cool. Yeah. I think it was Paul. Yeah, Paul Felder he mentioned me that I got a head kick because I head kicked my guy and then I choked him, and that was cool. That was definitely cool.
That's awesome. All right, so talk to me about what you've done since then, because I wanted to reach out and speak to you, and I thought you'd be joining from London, right? But instead, I find out no, you're in Las Vegas. I know you kind of travel around a little bit, but what did you come directly back to Las Vegas, and kind of what's going on right now?
Yeah, I pretty much came back directly after, like a couple of days after I fought. I went back to London for a couple of days, spent time with the family, and then I came straight back to Las Vegas just because during April will be Ramadan and we'll be fasting the whole time, and you can't really get such great quality training. I'll spend the whole of Ramadan in London. So between this between my fight and Ramadan, I wanted this 3 weeks to just go back to Vegas, not only help my training partners who helped me for the past 5-6 months, but also just sharpen my tools as well. And 3 weeks doesn't seem like a lot, but for me, here in Vegas, the knowledge you can get, it's it's a lot. It's a lot of help. It's good.
Yeah, no question. I see you at the Performance Institute. You've got a great, team full of people around you. So how often are you here in Las Vegas? I mean, would you say you're here half the year? Is it just training camp? I mean, how often are you in Las Vegas?
I'm here quite often now. Like I pretty much do most of my training here. Yeah, I pretty much I go back to London, spend time with the family, and and stuff like that. But as far as training, I'm pretty much I train in Vegas now.
Fantastic. Well, listen, that can open a lot of doors for you as well. I mean, you mentioned getting talked about on the broadcast, just being here in the fight capital of the world helps. So what is the plan right now, Farid? I mean, obviously you've got this undefeated record as well. The brothers are getting their names talked about a little bit. I mean, what's the path that you see? Are you hoping to get signed by the UFC or another major promotion? Are you looking at Contender Series? Are you, what's the plan for you?
The goal for me, the plan is definitely UFC. That's where I want to be. And I've said no to other like big organizations in the past, and at a time where the money could have been very good for me, but I just had this long-term plan of like, if you want to be the best, you have the most legitimate claim if you're in the UFC, right? Like if you're the best in the UFC, you're most likely the best in the world. So that's, for me, UFC was always the goal. The route to the UFC, it could be Contender Series. I know they're doing that this summer again. Or I would, of course, prefer straight into the UFC to get a contract, a guaranteed contract. But I'm in Vegas a lot now, so maybe a short notice bout. Let's see, But Contender Series is nice. But I would prefer a guaranteed contract, of course.
Yeah, it'd be great. Short notice is a great way to get in, as you said. Would you take a fight during Ramadan, or is that not possible?
No, I wouldn't do in Ramadan. It's just not only because of the training and the diet, it's very difficult. Also, it's just Ramadan is a very special time, like spiritually, mentally. It's difficult to explain if you don't practice it, but it's a very holy month, and for me, I need the benefits of Ramadan to strengthen my faith. I can't be fighting during this time.
That's awesome, man. Well said. Well, you mentioned you're wanting to be in the best organization in the world. Maybe not taking it early on, but do you feel now? Yes, I am ready. I have reached that level. I am ready to test myself in the UFC.
100%, man. Like that's one of the good things about being out here in Vegas is like you get to test yourself against these guys who are in the UFC, who are in other promotions, also doing very well. And without a doubt, I feel I'm ready for the UFC.
I love it, man. Well, I hope that opportunity comes for you very soon. Let me ask, once you get in, now that you've had the experience, like you said, you and your brother fought on the same card a couple of times. This was the first time you'd been in different cards. I guess if you're both in the UFC, if it's the same night, it's going to be the same place. But, I mean, would you guys want to be competing on cards together? Do you like that benefit of being on the same card? Or, because like you said, I've got to imagine the emotion is tough. Like whoever's fighting second is getting fully invested in whoever's fighting first. That's got to be a tough balance. So would you guys want to be on a card, or do you think that's a bad idea?
You know what? Like, there's pros and cons to both. A massive positive of being on the same card is like you're both working towards the same date. So you're both like peaking at the same time. We walk around the same weight. We fight at the same weight. So we're both like on the exact same type of diet plan. The cons, of course, will be like, yeah, on fight day, okay, like we have to separate our, like coaches will have to separate our, divide the attention, you know, and fighting is a very selfish craft, you know, like you want all the attention, you need, you know, you need the attention. So that will be a negative, but at the same time, like I said, we've probably fought on the same card maybe 4 or 5 times, and knowing me, knowing Javid, like fighting is what we do. Like it's like we've put in so much work for something so small, like you know, like you know, getting distracted for my brother's fight on fight day. That's too small of a thing. Like we'll never let something like that get in the way. So I'm not opposed to fighting on the same day. I wouldn't mind it. I would quite like it, actually.
That's amazing. When did this journey begin for you guys? I mean, were you children and knew that you wanted to fight in the UFC, or is it later? Like, when did you guys know this is the path we're taking?
We were teenagers. We were always quite rowdy kids, you know, so like quite scrappy. We always played like a lot of soccer and stuff like that. But I think I started training when I was 15. I think Javid was like 16, 17. But it was a little bit before that when we started like having these, you know, these visions of like fighting, with like even boxing. Like we're huge boxing fans, and initially it was like, oh, maybe we'll box, maybe, and then but I always liked the, you know, like the all-roundedness of MMA, you know, the grappling, the wrestling. So but definitely I'd say since 14, 13, since I was 13, 14, even before I started training, I had these, like that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be the best in the world.
It's awesome. I saw you wearing the Real Madrid kit. Now,
Yeah.
are you a Real Madrid fan, or was that just while you were there? Let's get a jersey.
I'm a Real Madrid fan. I've been a huge Real Madrid fan since I was a kid. Anybody that knows me, like they know I'm a huge Real Madrid fan.
That's awesome. So it was pretty special for you to go visit the grounds then.
Yeah, it was. It was. I went there like after the fight. I visited the Bernabeu, and yeah, man, it was, and I saw all the trophies and all the players, you know, like their jerseys and stuff. Yeah, it was special for me.
That's awesome, man. Well, listen, hopefully we get to see you in the UFC very soon. We've seen your brother. He looks great. I mean, obviously looks like a top-level prospect. As for yourself, if people haven't seen you compete, would you say that you guys have similar styles, that you guys are, you know, kind of cut from the same cloth, or do you feel like you are, you know, a different style of fighter?
No, I think we're very similar. But of course, we both have our differences, you know, like I like certain, because he's a little bit taller and slimmer, I'm a little bit shorter and stockier, so there's certain things I favor, certain things he favors, but for the most part we're very similar because we spend so much time with each other, and we brainstorm a lot, like, hey Javid, help me with this, how do you do this, and vice versa, you know, so we're always stealing each other's game. But yeah, there are small differences for sure.
That's awesome. Now the tough question: who's better?
I knew this was gonna come up at some point. I knew it. No, you know, I hate to say it, but yeah, Javid is better. Javid is better right now. Yeah, Javid's a little bit better right now. I'm catching up. Like Javid's always here, and I'm like right here, and I'm just trying to catch up, and he's trying to stay ahead of me always.
Oh, I love it. Well, that's very humble of you to admit. That's awesome, man. Well, listen, obviously a great story with your family. Man, unbelievable that you guys both got it. And hopefully we'll see you in the UFC very soon. I guess just tell us, when do you think you will fight again? As you said, Ramadan coming up. Are you going to hold out and see if that offer comes, or do you maybe book a fight to stay busy and get another win? What's the plan for you right now?
I think the UFC this summer is it's gonna happen. Inshallah, it happens. It has to. You know, I've been waiting for a long time. I've been working very hard. But this summer, I think you'll see both the Basharat brothers in the UFC.
I love it. What a great night that would be. Awesome, Farid. Well, I appreciate the time, brother. Wish you the best of luck. Enjoy the time off, and hopefully we'll be seeing you in the UFC Apex or out on the road very soon, my man.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, John.